Welcome back, everybody. Josh Fenton here with Art Lambi. Art is a partner at literally the fourth fastest growing accounting firm in the United States, DeSanto Priest and Company, right? We don't want to forget and Company.
There's a lot of company.
I guess you fall into the and Company.
I do.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We love entrepreneurs on Monday here on Business Monday, and we love having the conversation. Talk a little bit about the growth.
Well, the firm was started a little over 50 years ago, and through a series of strategic alliances and partnerships and mergers, all based here in Rhode Island, the firm has managed to grow to close to 90 employees, 50 CPAs.
That's great.
And has now been recognized as one of the top 250 firms by size in the country, and the fourth fastest growing CPA firm in the nation.
Yeah, that's great. What's the secret to the growth, right? We're in a state of 1 million people. 50 years ago, we were 1 million people. Gary's just talking about the economy shows some signs of slowing in his analysis. Len Ladaro down at URI had the same. But that's not slowing you guys. You guys are making acquisitions, building out the staff, hiring. What's been the key to the success?
Our people are the key. There's absolutely no question about it. We continue to reinvest in our people through technology and training, deliver that superior client service to Rhode Island's family-owned businesses. Obviously, we stretch out throughout the entire country. We have a big book of business, a lot of clients in the southeastern Massachusetts, New Bedford, Fall River area. But it's really our people that make us what we are today, and that focus on Rhode Island's family-owned businesses.
And, Rhode Island lives and dies with small business. We seem to invest in big businesses sometimes. Stephen Pryor's been here a number of times. We have this arm wrestling match. I guess you want to bring some blue chip companies in here as well. But this is a state in which there's 40,000 small businesses, 30,000 of them are really active. It's a huge part of our economy. How do you serve small businesses but not have the big cost structure of having 90 employees and 50 CPAs and a fancy office space and all those things that come with the overhead?
Yeah, so we do have the 90 people.
Right.
We have an enormous amount of resources, which helps those growing Rhode Island-based businesses to grow right here in Rhode Island. For instance, we have folks that can help clients with sales tax compliance in multi-states as they expand outside of Rhode Island and do business in different states. We have a couple of folks that partner with us relative to international taxation. So even though we're a local-based CPA firm and have built and grown organically in Rhode Island, we understand that our target market, where we service, where our bread is buttered, so to speak, is in the Rhode Island-based market. A lot of other firms this day and age have been merging into bigger firms that are outside of the state of Rhode Island, and we've done all this growth organically inside Rhode Island based upon the quality of the people that we have, their training, and the technology we utilize.
Well, and you've got good feeder systems, right? URI and Bryan are both schools that are generating a lot of smart young men and women that you can tap into.
We're very fortunate. There's a lot of great resources here. Johnson & Wales, Rhode Island College, just to name a few others that weren't on your list.
Young Mr. Almonte was on one of our end of the year lists last year. I think he was one of the 19 to watch in 19. That guy's got to be the most popular guy in Rhode Island. About 8,000 people shared his designation as one of the 19 to watch.
He is, and we have we have some really outstanding young talent. And when I say young, we can pick an age, I don't know, 40 or less, 30, even 30 or less.
Well, he's a young guy. I think I coached him in lacrosse once upon a time.
He is, but we've got a few of those.
Yeah, that's great.
We're really excited about it.
Let's go national for a second. Sure. Obviously, we had major tax reform a little over a year ago. It was the biggest tax reform since 1986. I was a young staffer to John Chafee, who was on the finance committee and was a conferee on that tax changes. Big changes, a lot of confusion, A lot of people not understanding. Rhode Island as a state seems to still be trying to figure out what all the implications are. I've had a number of conversations with Paul Dion over at Revenue, and he's always trying to figure out what all the impacts are. Where are we and where are businesses in understanding the implications of this round of tax reform?
It's a really good question, and I'll answer it this way. The IRS, as recently as just a few weeks ago, is still issuing guidance on some of these rules.
Gotta love it, right?
Primarily for our business clients. So disproportionately this year, we're going to find that a lot of our family-owned business clients are going to be placed on extension and finished up sometime over the spring or summer until we all get a little bit more guidance and understanding of what those new rules really entail. But there, as you mentioned, overwhelming amount of new rules that impact taxpayers in a variety of different ways.
One of the issues that we track, a couple of business issues that we track constantly, is one is the decline of retail. The other is the implications of artificial intelligence. And Darrell West, who's down at Brookings, used to be at Brown University, is one of the leading thinkers on AI, wrote a book a couple of years ago. McKinsey had a report recently that said 800,000 people are going to be impacted. And one of the sectors, one of the white collar sectors that's going to be impacted is accounting. Talk a little bit about, you've got 90 people. You've got to be competitive against, Ernst & Young over here and other folks over there. How are you thinking about this transformation of application of technology into your workplace and what the opportunities are and what the complexities are?
Sure. So a couple of facets. And our firm has a couple different departments: taxation, auditing, AI, and auditing information. That is going to impact that group in that department. So training is a real important part of our process. And in this day and age, things are changing so quickly that with the staff that we've got, the professionals that we already have, it's about training them to audit AI and the data that comes to us in the different forms in the future. The other piece of that is impacting significantly the group which I'm the director of, and that's the Small Business Advisory Group at DeSanto Priest. So even though we're a 90-person firm, we have a whole group of folks that I chair up that are dedicated to providing QuickBooks services and tax prep and planning to Rhode Island's family-owned businesses from startup to sale. And in our group, what we're finding is, and a lot of folks found this a few years back when there used to be a room full of bookkeepers, right? Handwriting all the ledgers out, and then in came Excel, and then in came QuickBooks. And everybody said, well, we're not going to need those bookkeepers, and we're not going to need you accountants anymore. But the reality is our function does change, and we see our function changing, particularly as advisors going forward.
You guys are always good at the accounting industrial complex, right? If you can apply Eisenhower's term about the military industrial complex,
right.
You always find a new job for yourself.
We do, but the government makes it easy for us.
That's right,
Josh.
If I'm a mom and pop small business, I've got 15 employees, and I'm sitting there, and right now I've been using Cousin Joe down the street, and boy, this thing's getting complicated, and Cousin Joe's scratching his head more and more. But I only pay Cousin Joe X. Am I going to have to switch over to you guys and pay 5X or 10X?
Yeah, and we find that that's where we get a lot of our new relationships. Are those Rhode Island grown and growing businesses who either through their banker or other financial advisor or business associate, they realize they're just growing too fast, and they need some additional help. And that's a perfect fit. I mean, that's when DeSanto Priest can really fill the void. Now, yes, there's going to be a difference in price for a variety of different reasons, but as accountants, we're entrepreneurs by nature. We understand it. If you spend X, you expect to get 2 or 3 times that in value in return. So as we deliver services, particularly in our small business group at DeSanto Priest, we recognize that every dollar is important to a Rhode Island family-owned business owner. So we want to make sure when they pay our bill, when they look at that invoice at the end of the year, they understand the value that they receive.
In your small business group, talk about the smallest companies and the largest companies that fall into that group.
So you would have your typical startup.
Do you have any babysitters? On the small side.
Well,
Part-time high school babysitters.
Well,
a little bigger than that, right?
A little bigger,
Okay.
certainly a little bit bigger than that. Distribution companies, one gentleman with a truck is formed an S Corp or an LLC. We can help get the tax identification number, help them with the articles of organization, state registration, sales permits, all those things, payroll. Linking a bank account into QuickBooks, setting up the QuickBooks files, tax planning, planning your quarterly tax payments, all those things that go along with owning a business.
So maybe one person, small business on the small side.
Yeah.
And on the large side, how big is your biggest small business?
We have some wonderful, wonderful clients, and most clients, we have that confidentiality.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
them,
I'm
but
not looking you to name
But
names.
one of them, there's a couple of them that you'll find on our website that
Yeah.
do some great testimonials, and one of them are the Carty brothers and Carty's Furniture.
What exactly do they do? I've not heard of them.
But a great family, a great example of how to folks who are dedicated to a family business, the community. We're a part. So honored to be a
And by
part.
the way, not an easy space. You've got national players coming
Sure.
in here. You've got Berkshire Hathaway owning Jordan's. You've got Amazon looking to eat their lunch and everybody else's lunch. This is not for the faint of heart, running a furniture company in 2019.
No, never mind the competition, but labor shortages, advertising dollars, increased demands on insurance coverages and infrastructure costs, all those, and income taxes.
Right.
We can't forget about that.
Listen, I want to thank you so much. Congratulations on all the success, all the growth. Let us know when you hit 100, 150, when you're number one fastest growing. And it's great to see a Rhode Island-based company. We have this conversation a lot from an editorial standpoint and not the news side. Very worried about some of these consolidations, healthcare companies being gobbled up by Boston firms. You know, I think it's pretty easy. That used to be the gas company. It's now a event space and a bar. That building over there used to be Fleet Bank, the largest employer, and it's now empty for going on 6 years, I think, next week. So it's great to see a Rhode Island-based company being the fueler of the growth, not the innocent victim being acquired with the capital and the decision making moving somewhere else. So congratulations.
Thank you,
Really
Josh.
appreciate it. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. The first hour was great with aquaculture and solar and wind energy being explained and seeing what the business opportunities. Obviously, Cha-ching, the money man, Gary Sass, always a wealth of information, and Art here from DeSanto and Priest, the fourth fastest growing accounting firm in the United States. Congratulations on all the success. We'll be back tomorrow. Kate Nagel, news editor, has a jam-packed afternoon. I think she's got the mayor of East Providence coming in and a few others. So we'll see you back tomorrow on GoLocal Live.